Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the board and management of Nigerian Exchange Limited, I welcome you all to the African Exchange Linkage Project Webinar 2023. Globally, Africa is perhaps the most exciting investment destination. The continent presents an incredible investment opportunity for those with a long-term outlook for a few reasons. One of them, of course, is that Africa remains undiscovered from a global investment perspective, resulting in what we think are very low valuations, both in equity and debt security investments, which offer attractive entry points, particularly when compared to valuations in more developed markets. Africa also is experiencing a massive population boom. Currently, 17% of the world's population are Africans. At current rates of growth, Africa is growing by the equivalent population of France every 2 years and will double by 2050. In terms of economic growth, Africa is coming off a low base, translating into GDP growth rates that are significantly higher than in more developed countries as the continent plays catch up and in many cases jumps ahead with the use of new technology enabled by the internet and other methods of operations. One of the major drivers of growth in African stock markets has been the increasing interest of foreign investors. As emerging markets, many African countries offer high potential for growth and investment returns. In addition, many African governments have implemented reforms to improve the business climate and to attract investments. One of these, of course, is the AfCFTA, the African Continental Free Trade Area, which came into effect in 2021. It aims to create a single market for goods and services across the continent, which could lead to increased trade and investments. Currently, 29 stock exchanges are operating in Africa with a combined market capitalization of $1.6 trillion. Despite these positive developments, African stock markets still face challenges. For example, many exchanges are still small and illiquid, with unstable FX regimes across countries and regulatory burdens, which make it difficult for investors to buy and sell securities across the exchanges. In addition, political instability and economic volatility in some countries can make investing in African stock markets risky. Therefore, the African Exchanges Linkage Project, AELP, which is a flagship project of the African Securities Exchanges Association and the African Development Bank, is aimed to facilitate cross-border trading of securities in Africa. Phase 1 is financed by a grant from the Korea Africa Economic Cooperation Trust Fund, administered by the AFDB. The primary goal of this initiative are as follows. 1, to facilitate and stimulate cross-border securities trading by sending client orders from the stockbroker on one exchange to a sponsoring stockbroker on another exchange for execution. It also aims to enable free flow of trading information among market participants, to support the creation of products and securities on the linked exchanges, and to drive innovation in investment services. It also looks to build capacity around regulatory and policy formulation and standards harmonization. The initial phase of the project aims to create linkages between 7 African capital markets in 4 regions. And together, these represent about 95% of Africa's market capitalization. These markets include the Casablanca Stock Exchange, the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, the Nairobi Securities Exchange, the Nigerian Exchange, the Stock Exchange of Mauritius, and the Egyptian Exchange. The first phase of the AELP initiative gave rise to the selection of 5 brokers from each of the 7 participating exchanges. In Nigeria, it's noteworthy to note that of all our brokers, Chapel Hill Denham successfully executed a trade on Sonatel shares, that's the public utility sector, with a counterparty, Finance Gestion Intermediation Dakar in Senegal. I'm sure that Mr. Shadari, who's on the call, will speak more to this later. This webinar aims to create more awareness on the immense opportunities and benefits of the AELP to the capital market stakeholders and the investing public. This, we believe, will encourage participation in investments and further enhance financial inclusion in the country. We remain grateful to all our partners on this initiative and for this webinar, particularly the SEC, Our sponsors, Chapel Hill Denham Securities, Codro Securities Limited, Stanbic IBTC Stockbrokers, and the Central Securities Clearing System. We will continue our collaboration with all market stakeholders for the collective growth and the development of the capital markets in Africa. Once again, I welcome all of our esteemed guests to this interactive webinar, and I encourage you to please participate actively in all of the discussions today. Thank you very much.